What's up, besties and homies? It's your girl Aisha checking in, back with another video. If you're new to the channel, welcome to Strong Friends Check-In Podcast. Happy Black History Month. We should celebrate Black history every month. However, this is the month that our government has set aside to acknowledge our people and our ancestors and all of the contributions that we've made to society. And so I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for our people. And I think it is important to honor two of the people who have had the greatest impact and influence on my life, my grandfather and my great grandfather. I'll start by saying that I want Black women to know that real men build. Real men are builders. They are not destructive. They are certainly not self-destructive. They don't tear down their families. They don't break up their families. They don't tear down their communities. Real men build. Real men uplift their women and they uplift their communities. They lead the way. They set the example for how people should live and how people should build and grow and leave lasting legacies that we can be proud of. My grandfather, my father's father, raised me. My great grandfather, my grandmother's father, passed away before I was born, but his legacy is so strong that he left land and property for our family. And so although I never had the opportunity to meet him, I benefit from his hard work. Our family benefits from his hard work. He was born in 1901 in the Deep South. He was able to become an entrepreneur, a successful entrepreneur. He was a barber. He owned his own barber shop. He bought land. He owned a farm. He built houses with his bare hands on his land. He was able to accomplish all of that as a Black man in the early 1900s in the Deep South. We talk about racism today, but the racism that we face today is nothing in comparison to what my great-grandfather and later my grandfather had to face in the Deep South. Yet my great-grandfather was able to accomplish all that. And when I call the county now, they still remember my great-grandfather and they have nothing but wonderful things to say about him because that's the legacy that he left. My grandfather who raised me, he was born in 1925 in the Deep South. He joined the military at 17 years old, but he worked his entire life because he worked on a farm. He has a lot of siblings. There was almost 20 of them, just the siblings, just the children. So he had a strong work ethic. And then when he turned 17, he joined the military. He was self-sufficient before he ever started a family. And after starting his family, he was an excellent protector and provider. He was not only the head of his household, he was the head of his wife. He was the head of his family. And that was so necessary for divine order. We need divine order. And that's what the Black community is lacking, divine order, because nobody wants to acknowledge and reverence the Most High God, the Creator. And people don't want to live according to his principles and his standards. They don't want to live in divine order. That is why the Black community is so out of order. And it won't get right until Black people, men and women, decide to go back to God's original order, his divine order, and to do it the right way. Black women complain a lot about the dating pool, and I understand that because There's a lot happening out there. I want to challenge Black women to really take a long look at self. One of the most valuable lessons that I learned from watching my grandfather is that it is, in fact, possible to have a strong leader. It's possible to have a happy, healthy, long lasting marriage, a successful marriage. And a successful marriage is one that lasts until death do you part. He showed me what was possible in a relationship and, most importantly, a marriage. And by watching him, I saw how important leadership is and how important divine order is, how important it is for a man to be able to say, hey, this is how we're going to do it. This is my plan, and this is how we're going to do it because this is what I believe is best for my family. A man who is protecting and providing, he has to have the authority to do that. And although I have not always made the best decisions, I haven't made the worst decisions either because of the example that my grandfather set. He was my daddy, and he set a stellar example of manhood and masculinity. One day I will share more of my testimony because I know some people might be trying to understand I chose the wrong man when I've had such a strong example. One day I will share that and you will understand. And I can almost bet my life it's not anything that you would ever expect. Because again, I've said so many times on this channel, I am different. And so even my reason for choosing the wrong person, I don't think most women especially would ever be able to think of. You just won't be able to figure that out. I'll have to share that with you. Because my grandfather was more of an influence on me, or had more of an influence on me, I think a lot like a man. I think a lot like a man. So, but I just wanted to post this message to encourage Black women to do your part. There are men who can mentor other men. It is not our responsibility or even our place to try to mentor men. It is our responsibility to look at ourselves and take accountability for our choices and do better as women. It's our responsibility to do that. And so I encourage you to do that. And I just want to say, I love my grandfather. I had to pause it. I got a little emotional, y'all. I was a daddy's girl, so it makes me emotional. But I just want to say, I love my grandfather and I thank him for being a man, for setting that example. There is no amount of money that I could ever pay. There's nothing I could do to repay him. And I know how blessed I am to have had him. And I know that there are some women who have not had that strong example. And I just want to encourage you that although you did not have that, um, develop a relationship with the Most High God and really get into your word, the word of God, and find that there. I mean, everything you need is in the word of God. Everything you need, you can find in your relationship with God. And just take that journey and you'll find that you're learning more about yourself and more about divine order, and you'll understand it better. And some of the quote rules unquote that people don't like to follow, you'll see that God put those in place to protect us and to guide us because he wants us to be prosperous. And so that's my message on today, is that real men build and real women follow. Know that you're worthy. Know that you're loved. Please like, subscribe, and share. Until next time, it's your girl, Aisha, signing off.